You remember it, you're sure of it, you've seen it with your own eyes, heard it with your own ears. But now, it doesn't exist. What if your memories aren't real? What if reality, the one you think you're living in, has been tampered with? That's not just a science fiction concept. It's a real psychological and cultural phenomenon known as the Mandela Effect. Welcome to Hidden Truths. Today, we are going down a rabbit hole that might change how you see the world around you, and even how you trust your own mind. This is not just about misremembered cartoons. It's about whether our reality is glitching, shifting, or being rewritten right in front of us. The term Mandela Effect was coined by Fiona Broome, a paranormal researcher, after she, and thousands of others, remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison during the 1980s. But according to every official source, Mandela was released from prison in 1990 and lived until 2013. So how could so many people share the exact same false memory? That's where things start to get strange. Because it wasn't just Mandela. Let us go through some of the most famous Mandela effects and see how many you remember wrong. Do you remember the Monopoly Man? Tall hat, mustache, and a monocle, right? Wrong. He never had a monocle. Not in any official artwork or version of the game. What about Pikachu? Most people remember him having a black tip on his tail. But that black tip? It never existed. And then there's Star Wars, the iconic line, "Luke, I am your father." Except that line doesn't exist. The real quote is, "No, I am your father." Snow White fans? The line you know as "Mirror, mirror on the wall"? It's actually "Magic mirror on the wall." Go check if you don't believe it. The list goes on. The Berenstain Bears are actually the Berenstain Bears. Kit Kat? No hyphen. C-3PO from Star Wars? He has a silver leg, not all gold like you remember. So what's happening here? Are we all just bad at remembering things? Or is reality more fluid than we thought? Psychologists have one answer: false memory. Our brains don't record reality like a camera. They reconstruct it, based on patterns, associations, and emotion. When we recall something, we're actually rebuilding it, not playing it back. But if that's true, why are so many people misremembering the exact same things in the exact same way? Why are collective false memories so consistent and so detailed? That's where the other theories come in, and they're a lot more disturbing. The first is the theory of parallel universes, or the multiverse. This theory suggests that there are infinite versions of reality coexisting at once. Every decision, every variation, creates a new branch of existence. And some believe that when we experience a Mandela effect, we were actually remembering details from a different version of the universe, one that we somehow slipped out of. So in that other timeline, the Monopoly Man did have a monocle. Pikachu's tail did have a black tip. And we're just left with echoes of the reality we came from. Sounds insane? Maybe. But some physicists have proposed mathematical models that support the idea of multiple dimensions. And if there are infinite timelines, who's to say ours hasn't shifted? Then there's the simulation theory. This one's even creepier. Imagine you're living in a simulation, not a metaphorical one, a literal digital simulation, a hyper-realistic version of the Matrix. You think you're real, your memories feel real, but everything is code, algorithms, data. Now imagine the system updates. A texture gets changed, a line of dialogue is rewritten, logos, designs, names, all altered. But your memory didn't update with the patch. You're remembering version 1.0, while everyone else has accepted 2.0. It explains the glitches, the inconsistencies, the collective confusion, and the growing number of people who feel that something is off. Even tech moguls like Elon Musk have publicly said the odds that we're not in a simulation are 1 in billions. Let's go deeper, because the Mandela effect doesn't stop at brand logos and movie lines. Some people remember entire continents being in different places. For instance, many recall New Zealand being northeast of Australia when it's actually southeast. Others swear the human heart used to be on the left side of the chest, and are shocked to learn it as nearly in the center. Then there's the Mona Lisa. Art historians say she hasn't changed, but thousands of people feel her expression, her famously subtle smile, is now more pronounced than it used to be. They describe it as unsettling. And in every case, there's no official explanation, no evidence of tampering, just your memory saying, This isn't right. If the past is fluid, who's in charge of shaping it? Some theorists even suggest that powerful organizations or unknown forces could be rewriting elements of the past to manipulate perception. History is written by the victors, after all. But what if it's also edited by the system? Whether it's misremembering, parallel worlds, or simulation glitches, the Mandela Effect challenges something much deeper than trivia. It makes you question reality itself. The walls of certainty start to shake. The boundaries between fiction and memory blur. And suddenly, the world doesn't feel as solid as it once did. But maybe that's a good thing. Because once you question reality, you start to pay attention. You start to look closer. You start to ask, what else have I accepted without checking? And that might be the first step toward waking up. So now it's your turn. Have you ever experienced the Mandela Effect? What's the one that made you stop and say, wait, that's not how I remember it? Drop it in the comments. Let's compare memories. And if this video made you question your own reality, like, comment, and subscribe. We dive into topics just like this every week. Because here at Hidden Truths, we don't just tell stories. We expose the cracks in reality. And sometimes, what leaks through those cracks is more real than what's on the surface.